what I do in my recording is I add other notes from the chord to this melody. So when I recorded this song on my album, this page, the same PDF that you have, is all I was going by. I was making up the stuff around it. Now, essentially what you can do is you can look at this and you can look at the C chord and think, okay, there's my C chord at the very beginning of this song. And what's the note in the melody? It's my open E string. So what I can do is I can play that C chord, but just stop when I've already hit the melody note. So whatever the melody note is, I want that to be the last thing that I hit. That way it's going to stand out. It's the last thing that I pluck. It's the last thing to stop vibrating after I've played it. So for that C chord, that very first note, that very first beat of the song, I am just strumming my open G, C, and E strings. And I stop on that E. And then I can play the next two notes. And those other two strings are still ringing. So it's like I'm playing over that chord. I could keep strumming those open strings, and that could have its own charm. But I'm good with just letting that chord hit at the very beginning and just let it ring out as I play the other melody notes. Next up, I've got a G. So same idea. I'm going to kind of hold my G chord shape, but I'm going to stop after I hit the third fret of the E string, because that's the next note in the melody. And then I've got my open A string, and then I can put my middle finger down on the second fret of that A string for that last note. So here's the first measure. So again, when I played that G shape, my middle finger was not pushed down because I need the open A, and then I put my middle finger down on the second fret of the A when the melody calls for it. And then I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep applying this same idea as I go. So the next measure starts with the third fret of the A string, and the chord is C, so I can strum all of my strings like I normally would for a C chord. Second fret open, and then I have my A minor chord, and the melody note is my open A string, so I can just strum my whole A minor chord there. And then I have third fret of the E string. I can just throw my ring finger down there. Maybe I could use my pinky, depending on how I'm feeling or which finger feels most available. The next two measures I can treat basically the same way. Except there I end on a G chord. Ending on that third fret of the E string for my melody. So I don't want to strum an entire G chord because then the melody's going to get lost. Again, I want to make sure that whatever the melody note is the last note that I play when I'm strumming through a chord. I'm just going to play through measures 5 through 8 so you can get a sense for what that might sound like. Here's F. So I'll stop there because I've got an interesting one. So I have an F chord, but the melody note is a note that isn't in my F chord. So I kind of have to create this new chord. So I'm kind of like playing, I fret the F chord, right? But the melody note is third fret of the E, not first fret of the E. So I just switch fingers and play as much of that F chord as I can while also playing the melody note. The melody is king. We follow the melody no matter what. And then I can play the other two notes there. I get to a G. Now here, again, I've only got my open G string and 2nd fret of the C. And of course I have to break out of that G chord shape in order to play my open C string and then go back. So where this note is happening on the C string, the only note that I'm using to harmonize with it is my G string. And that's totally okay. It's a lesson that I had to learn, that like you don't have to be playing all of your strings all of the time. You can make some really compelling stuff by only using some of your notes. All right, now that we've stopped on that weird one, I'm gonna play measures 9 through 12, and when we hit that F, you're gonna see that again. I've got a G note in the melody, but I'm supposed to be playing an F chord. So I'm creating this new chord, this F add 9 chord. Like that. So watch out for that. It's in measure 11, but we're starting on 9. Here we go. Now, this is a perfect example of times that you might need to break out of your first position, right? Your finger assignments that we talked about at the very beginning, because when we're making these chords, we can't stick to that because, you know, we've got to scrunch fingers in all sorts of weird ways. So here we're going to have to be flexible. Measure 13. So I'm going to play measures 13 through measure 16. I'm going to go ahead and play the rest of this piece and take a look at my fingers as I play through. I'm going to be playing 17 through 26 here. So just check out my fingers, see what I'm strumming, listen to what it sounds like. How would you play it? 2, 3. Notice at those last 2 measures, I was strumming stuff during those parts where we were resting before, where we weren't playing anything when we were just playing the melody. I can fill in some of that empty space with chord stuff to kind of keep things going, to help me keep time as I'm playing, if it just sounds better to you. That's what's really cool about something like this, playing off of a lead sheet, where we only have the chord symbols, and the melody is the only thing that's written out explicitly what to do. So we can fill in those blanks and create whatever you want. When I played this song, I had to do some embellishments. See, I'm doing a little bit more work. I'm doing some more plucking within there. I'm not just strumming the chords as is, although I think it sounds beautiful just doing that. But as I play through, maybe some sections get busier and other sections get quieter. I can get really expressive with my playing. And again, the great thing about this is it's totally up to you. You get to create the arrangement out of this. Some folks find that really awesome. Other folks might find it a little bit daunting. So if it's daunting to you, give it a try. Just dip your toe in, see if you like it. But if you don't like it, that's totally fine. But if you are into this sort of thing, this kind of playing could open up a world of possibilities. And we're going to be looking at a couple others like that this month. So playing the melody is the primary part. That's like the bones of it, right? Playing that melody. But after that, it's up to you. So have fun, explore, see what kind of sounds you can make. Maybe you want to try different chords instead of the ones that are assigned here. We don't have to have a C chord over that first measure. It could be an A minor if we wanted to. Might be a little bit of a different sound. Instead of that G, we could do an E minor sound. And an F maybe. E flat? Ooh, weird. Weird. But the point is, you can make this your own and follow your own ear and decide what sounds great to you. Let me play the whole thing for you. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I hope you enjoy playing this song. This is my favorite style of playing on the ukulele, you know. I find it very pleasant to play and to listen to, and I hope you do too. And if not, that's okay, because, like, there's something for everybody. So, if you have any questions about this lesson, please shoot me an email at tinyvillagemusic@gmail.com. There's some tricky stuff going on here, and even if this video ended up being, 20 minutes or something like that, or even more, there's a lot going on, right? So, again, don't be afraid to shoot me an email and say, hey, what finger are you using for that? Or at this measure, you did this. What's going on there? Just ask, and I'll tell you. All right, folks, have a wonderful week. Keep on strumming, and I will talk to you in the next lesson.